Namaste from Norway, guys. My name is Arvind and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So guys, today's video is very special because we have a very special guest. You might not know the name of the guest, but I am sure that if you want to learn Norwegian and if you are in Norway, you would definitely know the company founded by him, Lingu. So please welcome Odd Bjerga, who is the founder and CEO of Lingu. Odd, welcome to our channel. Thanks for accepting this invitation.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, I will start with my own experience as a Lingu student. Back in 2014 or 15, I was a student at Lingu.
Way back, yeah?
Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
And it was really a wonderful experience being a student over there.
Wonderful, yeah?
Yeah. So first of all, let's start with your journey. Who are you? Please tell us a little bit about yourself and where did you do your education from, entire thing, and why did you choose this passion for, teaching language to the masses?
Right. Well, I grew up not far from Stavanger in a small island community, very small, close-knit community. Then I decided to expand my horizons and moved first to Stavanger, then to Bergen, and then to Oslo to study as a student. I studied religion and intercultural communication. That was my
that makes sense.
minor degree. And then I went on to study languages at the university in Oslo.
Okay.
So I had studied a number of languages because that was a passion of mine. I met my wife in Oslo, and we got married. We got 4 kids, and we decided to move back to her community where she's from, not far from Stavanger either. Mm-hmm. That was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now I'm a father of 4, and I'm working at Lingu to build this company. Yeah.
So you just mentioned that you have learned a lot of languages. So if I may ask, that how many languages do you speak?
I didn't say I learned. I said I studied. So well, I wouldn't say I speak fluent. I speak English.
Yeah.
Pretty okay.
Yeah, you're doing good.
And Norwegian is my first language, English my second. Number 3 is actually Persian.
Persian? Okay.
Yeah, so maybe German. I studied a number of languages, but I wouldn't say I can speak fluently. I can have a basic conversation in Persian and German, but I know a few phrases in quite a wide range of languages, yeah. Okay. So I'm more of a generalist than a specialist that goes all in.
And now this is a follow-up question that it makes a little bit of sense to me since you study religion and language communication. That is what you said, right? Intercultural language communication. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think you developed your passion for languages back while you were studying, right?
Yeah, definitely. This experience of expanding your horizons by learning a new language is just profound. When you learn a new language, you get to see the world in a totally different light. It's like Charles the Great said that having a second language is like having a second soul.
Yeah,
it really makes total sense, even though it sounds a little bit fluffy.
No, I fully understand because as an immigrant to Norway when I see it for the first 5 years, for me, Norwegian was just, as a stepping stone or to get a PR, to get this citizenship. Yeah. But for the next 5 years, since the child grew up, so I had to really learn. And as you were saying before this interview, that you understand the language when you understand the jokes in that language. So I think if you crack a joke, I should be able to understand.
Excellent. Yeah. I'll test you afterwards.
Okay, then how did this idea of forming a company and calling it Lingu? Lingu is a very catchy name, let me tell you that.
Oh, thank you. It's Latin and means language, so it's not really any
reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, just got a twist to the spelling, and there are lots of language companies called something with Lingu, like Duolingo or Lingo, so on. But the idea with Lingu got started when I was working with refugees in Oslo. That was I had a side job as a student, and I was at that time trying to learn French. Again, I studied, I didn't learn. I was learning French, and I met this guy from Algeria. He was a French teacher. He was just arrived to Norway, and I said, I'd like to learn French. And he said, I'd like to teach you. And I got the idea that if I can collect some more people with me to learn French, then we have a group, and we can, it could be a job for him, he can get paid, we can learn the language, and we also had this, the organization I worked for had free classrooms in the evening, so it was a win-win situation where just connecting the dots will help us, will help him get a job and me learn the language, and helping other people also learn the language. So that was the initial idea, and then we launched the website lingu.no back in December 2008.
Okay.
And a couple of weeks later we got the first booking, and it was like, oh, what do we do now? So we weren't like, it wasn't like proper, we did have a business plan, for sure we did, but it was kind of a surprising journey to see that people were actually willing to pay a lot of money to learn a language, and we used that money to spread the word about Lingu and what we do, and so started from very small
basic idea
to being now the leading language school in Norway. Yeah.
And then I would definitely, I wouldn't be very foolish to assume that over these past 15 years you didn't have any struggles, right? There would be some struggles, because from the conception of an idea to making where Lingu is. So can you just share some of the struggles that you faced?
There's plenty of items. I need to think about what to share, where to begin. Well, I guess one of the in the first half of Lingu's journey, the biggest issue was to understand how we could take an operation from being like fully organized by me and my small team around me, without any technology and any software to use, to actually being technology driven. So in order to scale the company and being able to serve not just the tens of students, but hundreds and thousands of students, you need to have systems in place, and you need to have the system needs to be served a real solve real problems that you face. So transitioning Lingu from being like a traditional school that just connected people to learn, to an online school, and where we're technology driven and we create our own services. That has transformed the business model, and we were really struggling in the beginning to make that happen, to be able to cope with so many different, so much information, so much data that needs to be has proper relations. And when we figure out how to do this with code and with databases and data systems, then we got on the right track, and we transformed our business model to be technology first. So using technology has been finding a way into technology for me, as like from background into religion and intercultural communication. That wasn't intuitive, but it was a great journey.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And one thing is, when people struggle, when they face like a deadblock, then either they say, okay, I can't do it, or they will rise up again. And here is the role of motivation. So I believe in your journey also you would have faced these impasses or deadlocks, but then you would something would have motivated you. So what motivates you in daily life, especially when you are in relation to your business, in relation to running a company?
I find it very satisfying to solve problems, to use my creative imagination to find a solution that is maybe counterintuitive or maybe not traditional, or maybe even unconventional, and apply it to the problem and see that it actually solves the problem. That's really, personally, that's a great source of motivation. So, and there are plenty of problems to solve. So
10 years ago or 11, I came to Stavanger in 2012 August.
Yep.
And when you come to a new country, you are like, an analogy that fits here is you are entering into, a dark tunnel, you can say, right? And then I think language is that torch or light that helps you to navigate your path, because everything in here is written in Norwegian, for example. Okay, but the good part about Norway is people communicate with you in English because they know English.
Yeah.
But like if you have to read something, if you get something from say Politi, you get something from Nav, even sometimes the signposts, they're in Norwegian. So I think language is something as the first gateway which helps you to integrate into the society. That is my take on it based upon my personal experience.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
You guys are doing really commendable job in that sense, So
Norway being such a small country, just a population of just under 6 million, and in order to function in the world, we had to learn a second language. So decades ago that was German, but more recently it's been English, and so we're pretty much a bilingual country by now. So everyone speaks English, and if you as a foreigner come to Norway, you'll experience that it's quite easy to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
At the first stages, right? To navigate, everyone you talk to can switch to English, and you'll be able to do those things you need to do in the first stages. But in order to get into the society, to live here, to have the opportunities that your neighbor has, you need to learn the language. You need to learn Norwegian, and you need to learn it well, not just hey,
exactly.
Hi, hello,
how
are you?
I remember. For the first 3 years, I was just and this, which is like, you have this huge slang. And then another question to you, or this: if suppose not working in Lingu as a founder, what else you think you would have, with the same passion you would have done as in your professional life?
I guess I would choose routes like engineer or a developer.
Okay.
That's about solving problems, deconstructing a problem into components that can be put together and rearranged into new products and services. That's maybe that
this
would
is
be
I'm getting goosebumps when I hear things like this because we have this concept of systems engineering in machine design as well. It's like a bigger problem. You first of all just break it down, and then you try to tackle one by one, and then you assemble it. So that's so it means what we are teaching, you guys are using it. So that's wonderful to know. It's not just theoretical but practical. There are a lot of other schools who are teaching Norwegian, but then how is Lingu different? Can you maybe give us 2 or 3 pointers which place you very different, or why I should come to Lingu and not go to some other school?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that Lingu is different because we focus on people, language, and technology. It's technology-driven language school and being human-friendly. And by that I mean the education industry has been pushed into a new era of transformation that is paralleled only by the invention of the printing press. So for the last 300 years, learning has been about text and books and teachers and classrooms. And now it's transitioning into a digital age. Started 10, 20 years ago, and now it's really picking up the pace with new technologies such as AI.
And then are you guys only teaching Norwegian, or is it something like you are also focusing on other languages as well?
Well, we do teach English and a handful of other languages occasionally. For the most part, it's Norwegian language at the present. Our vision is to help millions of people learn new languages. So obviously that means other languages than Norwegian. So our future is more heading towards English and other languages. And online, of course. That's our vision. Yeah, help lots of people learn.
And I think what someone who wants to learn a new language, what would interest him or her is that, are all the resources on your website, are they like for, do they have to pay, or do you also have like some free resources which people can just go
Yeah,
in?
absolutely. Yeah. We got, for example, the most popular Norwegian learner podcast called Norskpodden. That's free, available on all your favorite podcast player. We also got a few others like Lingupedia, which is a grammar and pronunciation resource. You can look up how to pronounce anything, any vowel, any syllable, or any word, and grammar references.
Bold question towards the end, and that is, I come from India. In India, there are about 25 languages spoken. You already know we have about 1.4 billion people. So why should I care, coming from such a huge country with such a huge, diversified language background, to learn Norwegian, which is kind of a tribal language for me? So what is your response to that?
Wow. Well, first of all, India has loads of languages. It's the most the country in the world that has the most languages. So why should you from India learn such a tribe language from Norway? I think if you want to have the same opportunities as your neighbor, and you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be the one that doesn't laugh at the jokes that your peers are sharing. You want to be able to help your children when they do their homework. You want to be able to be in a parents' meeting at the school. You want to be able to find a life partner who is maybe not speaking your native language. So there are just a ton of reasons, both career and personal life, and loads of other things that tells you that you should learn the language that your peers are speaking. So in Norway, most everything happens in Norwegian. Yes, you can get around, and most people speak English, but everything is in Norwegian. And if you don't understand Norwegian, you're totally missing out on 99% of what's going on here. So,
and then the last message to the viewers from your side, please.
I'd like to invite you to try out our services at Lingu. We provide Norwegian language courses that are flexible, and we call them fast track, which means that you'll be able to make progress in your language learning quite substantially, quite fast. So the services are quite affordable. We try to keep the prices as low as possible. And we have several thousand people who have tried the courses before you, and they've given us a great rating, like 4.7 out of 5, and they're really happy about it, and I invite you to try the same. Most people find it really satisfying to learn the new language in general. At Lingu, we try to get the best of both worlds, both the teacher world and the technology world, to provide a human-friendly and technology-driven language journey for you. So if you want to try it out, you can go to lingu.no and find a course that fits your level and your interests, and I'll see you there.
We also have a partnership with Lingu, so you can check the links in the description below. If you click on these links, you will get a discount of 15% on the courses which are being offered by Lingu. So please check it out. Now there is no dearth of the good resources. The dearth is in terms of whether you want to learn language in a most efficient manner or not, and if you want to do that, then Lingu is the place for you. So thanks a lot for this session, because I think getting to know you better and getting to know your passion for teaching language, this is really wonderful. And I myself, being a teacher, I fully understand your cause and I fully support it. So thanks for this wonderful interview.
Well, thank you for having me, and namaste from Norway and from Lingu.
Yeah, namaste from Norway and from Lingu.